Welcome to Be Strong and Love Yourself, a channel for very strong people. I'm Dasha Bisali. I created this channel to share information about personal development and happiness. And today I want to talk about two books that I recently read, and I think these books are must-read books. The first one is Bad Blood by John Carreyrou, and this is the book about the company Theranos that wanted to create medical device for blood testing, but unfortunately they were not able to. But they pretended that the device worked properly. I don't want to tell the whole story because I'm really bad in sharing this type of information, but I will explain why I think that this book is extremely important. Well, first of all, I want to say that it's a very, very interesting and capturing. When I started to read it, I couldn't stop. But besides that, there is a very interesting idea, I think, is that when sometimes we can have a dream, you can have it, I can have it, a goal, you can call it a goal, and you want to achieve this goal so much that sometimes you cannot accept the reality if it doesn't match your ideas in your mind. And this is what actually happened to CEO of this company, as I think. And the goal can be beautiful, it can be really nice, but when you don't accept the reality, even if you do something you believe, out of love, the reality always wins, and reality knows, life knows better what is good. And sometimes reality is not the way we want it to be. And you can have two options, basically. You can accept it and adjust your dream based on reality, your goals. Or you can try to push it away from you and try to change, to manipulate it. So the first option, I think, is the one that you need to choose. And if you choose the second option, you should read this book and see what type of consequences you can have. It's an extreme example, but I think a lot of people, I'm not an exception, do such type of things. When we have a dream, when we have a goal, and we don't want to accept the reality because it doesn't match what we have in our mind. So this book, me personally, it helped me a lot to look at my own vision, my own goals and dreams, and to understand which ones are real, which ones are not, where I need to adjust something, where I need to wait and be more patient, and things like that. It's very useful to learn from mistakes of others. And again, as I said, this is an extreme example. Of course, not all of us are CEOs, and not all of us have startups and billions of dollars. But even in little things, reality always wins, and the more you push it away, the harder it will hit you when it comes back to you. The second book that I want to share is Unshakeable by Tony Robbins. And I personally love Tony Robbins, his speeches and his ideas and his values, and the way he writes his books in a very simple manner that everyone can understand them. This book in particular is about financial wealth, how to create it, and in this book he explains how the things work. And I think if you want to be successful in any area, it is extremely important to understand how everything works in this area. It's like to see the mechanism. So Tony explains it really well, and he interviewed a lot of very successful people, very wealthy people, in order to write this book. So if you care about your savings and about how to use compounding for your own good, I highly recommend to read this book. But also, because my channel is a lot about happiness and not that much about wealth, I really want to talk about the chapter where Tony talks about real wealth, and he says that more or less everyone can become a millionaire, and I think it's true if you start to save and do it smart, you can become a millionaire to, you know, in certain age. But not everyone becomes happy, and there are a lot of wealthy people who can be even miserable, not just unhappy, but, you know, really miserable. And he talks about real wealth, which is not about money, but it's about what's going on in your mind. And if you want to be happy, first of all, you need to master your mind. This is how he calls it. And I fully agree with this idea, and it kind of matches the ideas that I'm sharing on my channel. That's why I like it so much. But the way he describes it and explains it is, you know, he's a very successful man, and as I said, he interviewed a lot of successful people, and to hear it from him is not the same as listen to me. That's why I recommend his book, because he has a lot of evidence, and like his own life is kind of evidence of how you need to act. So I highly recommend to read this book and this specific chapter about this wealth, how to be happy, not just financially free, but how to be mentally free. So these are 2 books that I highly recommend, and not just to read them, you know, to listen to detective story or to read them to understand how to make money, but also to read them in order to understand how important reality is, accepting the reality and adjusting your dreams and goals, and how important is your mind and how you work with it. Are you the slave of your own mind, or you are the master of it? I hope you will read these books and pay attention to important parts of them, enjoy them, and I want to say that I'm extremely grateful that there are people who write books like that. It's amazing that sometimes you can read one book and take out of this one book so much that it can almost change your life. I believe in that. So thanks a lot to John Carreyrou and Tony Robbins for their work and for sharing this information with the world. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be strong and love yourself. Love wins, always.